Hello, welcome to day of reading through the Bible. I'm Toni Henderson-Mayers. I'll be your reader. I'm known as an actor, a director, producer, professor, but most important, I'm a child of God. And I'm also known as an entrepreneur too, as well. If you want to know more about me, join my Toni Henderson-Mayers YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and ring the notification bell for that channel and this one so you'll know every time I upload a new video. So, you ready to read God's word? Let's go. Well, hello there. We will be reading Lamentations, new book today. We're going to go from the first chapter all the way to the third chapter, but we're stopping at verse 36. Let's read. Okay. Lamentations 1. How deserted lies the city, once so full of people. Like a widow is she, who once was great among the nations. She who was queen among the provinces has now become a slave. Bitterly she weeps at night. Tears are on her cheeks among all her lovers. There is no one to comfort her. All her friends have betrayed her. They have become her enemies. After affliction and harsh labor, Judah has gone into exile. She dwells among the nations. She finds no resting place. All who pursue her have overtaken her in the midst of her distress. The roads to Zion mourn, for no one comes to her appointed festivals. All her gateways are desolate. Her priests groan. Her young women grieve, and she is in bitter anguish. Her foes have become her masters. Her enemies are at ease. The Lord has brought her grief because of her many sins. Her children have gone into exile, captive before the foe. All the splendor has departed from daughter Zion. Her princes are like deer that find no pasture. In weakness, they have fled before the pursuer. In the days of her affliction and wandering, Jerusalem remembers all the treasures that were hers in days of old. When her people fell into enemy hands, there was no one to help her. Her enemies looked at her and laughed at her destruction. Jerusalem has sinned greatly and so has become unclean. All who honor her despise her, for they have all seen her naked. She herself groans and turns away. Her filthiness clung to her skirts. She did not consider her future. Her fail was astounding. Her fall was astounding. Sorry, guys, my eyes, y'all know, it's still blurry. Her fall was astounding. There was no one to comfort her. Look, Lord, on my affliction, for the enemy has triumphed. The enemy laid hands on all her treasures. She saw pagan nations enter her sanctuary, those you had forbidden to enter your assembly. All her people groan as they search for bread. They barter their treasures for food to keep themselves alive. Look, Lord, and consider, for I am despised. It is nothing to you, all you who pass by. Look around and see. Is any suffering like my suffering that was afflicted on me in the day of his fierce anger? From on high he sent fire, sent it down into my bones. He spread a net for my feet and turned me back. He made me desolate, faint all the day long. My sins have been bound into a yoke. By his hands they were woven together. They have been hung on my neck, and the Lord has sapped my strength. He has given me into the hands of those I cannot withstand. The Lord has rejected all the warriors in my mindset. He has summoned an army against me to crush my young men. In his winepress, the Lord has trampled virgin daughter Judah. This is why I weep and my eyes overflow with tears. No one is near to comfort me, no one to restore my spirit. My children are destitute because the enemy has prevailed. Zion stretches out her hand, but there is no one to comfort her. The Lord has decreed for Jacob that his neighbors become his foes. Jerusalem has become an unclean thing among them. The Lord is righteous, yet I rebelled against his command. Listen, all you peoples, look on my suffering. My young men and young women have gone into exile. I called to my allies, but they betrayed me. My priests and my elders perished in the city while they searched for food to keep themselves alive. See, Lord, how distressed I am. I am in torment within, and in my heart I am disturbed, for I have been most rebellious. Outside the sword bereaves, inside there is only death. People have heard my groaning, but there is no one to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my distress. They rejoice at what you have done. May you bring the day you have announced, so they may become like me. Let all their wickedness come before you. Deal with them as you have dealt with me, because all my sins, my groans are many, and my heart is faint. Chapter 2. How the Lord has covered daughter Zion with the cloud of his anger. He has hurled down the splendor of Israel. From heaven to earth, he has not remembered his footstool in the day of his anger. Without pity, the Lord has swallowed up all the dwellings of Jacob. In his wrath, he has torn down the strongholds of daughter Judah. He has brought her kingdom and its princes down to the ground in dishonor. In fierce anger, he has cut off every horn of Israel. He has withdrawn his right hand at the approach of the enemy. He has burned in Jacob like a flaming fire that consumes everything around it. Like an enemy, he has strung his bow. His right hand is ready. Like a foe, he has slain all who were pleasing to the eye. He has poured out his wrath like fire on the tent of daughter Zion. The Lord is like an enemy. He has swallowed up Israel. He has swallowed up all her palaces and destroyed her strongholds. He has multiplied mourning and lamentation for daughter Judah. He has laid waste his dwelling like a garden. He has destroyed his place of meeting. The Lord has made Zion forget her appointed festivals and her Sabbaths. In his fierce anger, he has spurned both king and priest. The Lord has rejected his altar and abandoned his sanctuary. He has given the walls of her palaces into the hands of the enemy. They have raised a shout in the house of the Lord on the day of an appointed festival. The Lord determined to tear down the wall around daughter Zion. He stretched out a measuring line and did not withhold his hand from destroying. He made ramparts and walls lament. Together they wasted away. Her gates have sunk into the ground. Their bars he has broken and destroyed. Her king and princes are exiled. Among the nations, the law is no more, and her prophets no longer find visions from the Lord. The elders of daughter Zion sit on the throne in silence. They have sprinkled dust on their heads and put on sackcloth. The young women of Jerusalem have bowed their heads to the ground. My eyes fail from weeping. I am in torment within. My heart is poured out on the ground because my people are destroyed. because children and infants faint in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, where is bread and wine? As they faint like the wounded in the streets of the city, as their lives ebb away in their mother's arms. What can I say for you? With what can I compare you, daughter Jerusalem? To what can I liken you that I may comfort you, virgin daughter Zion? Your wound is as deep as the sea. Who can heal you? The visions of your prophets were false and worthless. They did not expose your sin to ward off your captivity. The prophecies they gave you were false and misleading. All who pass your way clap their hands at you. They scoff and shake their heads at daughter Jerusalem. Is this the city that was called the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All your enemies open their mouths wide against you. They scoff and gnash their teeth and say, we have swallowed her up. This is the day we have waited for. We have lived to see it. The Lord has done what he planned. He has fulfilled his word, which he decreed long ago. He has overthrown you without pity. He has let the enemy gloat over you. He has exalted the horn of your foes. The hearts of the people cry out to the Lord. You walls of daughter Zion, let your tears flow like a river day and night. Give yourself no relief, your eyes no rest. Arise, cry out in the night, as the watches of the night begin. Pour out your heart like water in the presence of the Lord. Lift up your hands to him for the lives of your children who faint from hunger at every street corner. Look, Lord, and consider, whom have you ever treated like this? Should women eat their offspring, the children they have cared for? Should priests and prophet be killed in the sanctuary of the Lord? Young and old lie together in the dust of the streets. My young men and young women have fallen by the sword. You have slain them in the day of your anger. You have slaughtered them without pity. As you summon to a feast day, so you summon against me terrors on every side. In the day of the Lord's anger, no one escaped or survived. Those I cared for and reared, my enemy has destroyed. Chapter 3 is going to be our last chapter reading, well, part of it for today. I am the man who has seen affliction by the rod of the Lord's wrath. He has driven me away and made me walk in darkness rather than light. Indeed, he has turned his hand against me. Again and again, all day long, he has made my skin and my flesh grow old and has broken my bones. He has besieged me and surrounded me with bitterness and hardship. He has made me dwell in darkness like those long dead. He has walled me in so I cannot escape. He has weighed me down with chains. Even when I call out or cry for help, he shuts out my prayers. He has barred me. He has barred my way with blocks of stone. He has made my paths crooked. Like a bear lying in wait, like a lion in hiding, he dragged me from the path and mangled me and left me without help. He drew his bow and made me the target for his arrows. He pierced my heart with arrows from his quiver. I became the laughing stock of all my people. They mocked me and sung all day long. He has filled me with bitter herbs and given me gall to drink. He has broken my teeth with gravel. He has trampled me in the dust. I have been deprived of peace. I have forgotten what prosperity is. So I say, my splendor is gone and all that I hoped from the Lord. I remember my affliction and my wandering, the bitterness and the gall. I well remembered them, and my soul is downcast within me. Yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope, because the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassion never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore, I will wait for him. The Lord is good to those who hope is in him, to the one who seeks him. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man to bear the yoke while he is young. Let him sit alone in silence, for the Lord has laid it on him. Let him bury his face in the dust. There may yet be hope. Let him offer his cheek to one who would strike him, and let him be filled with disgrace. For no one is cast off by the Lord forever. Though he brings grief, he will show compassion. So great is his unfailing love. For he does not willingly bring affliction or grief to anyone, to crush underfoot all prisoners in the land, to deny people their rights before the Most High, to deprive them of justice. Would not the Lord see such things? Well, may the Lord add a blessing to the reading and the hearing of his holy word. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Wowzer, we started a new book, okay? The Book of Lamentations, which we will continue on tomorrow. All right, so the Book of Lamentations, most likely the author was Jeremiah, okay, because of the style of writing, the time period in which it happened, etc., etc. So most likely it was Jeremiah. His audience that he's writing to is the Jews in Babylon exile who are lamenting the destruction of Jerusalem. And again, if you're not sure why the destruction happened, you got to watch my videos prior to this, okay? Because we led up to why this was happening. He wrote this shortly after the fall of Jerusalem in 586 BC. And basically, the theme of this whole writing is God's people, or the whole book of Lamentation, is God's people discerned his loving compassion and faithfulness, even as they lamented the cataclysmic destruction of Jerusalem. The cataclysmic, I know the word, but I ain't saying too. You know, it's early this morning. I don't know if y'all know, it's very early in the morning that I'm doing this. But so interesting the feelings and the emotions of seeing the destruction of Jerusalem and God's people, basically because of disobedience and what was going on and all. That's why it's called lamentation, because all of the lamenting, the heartache, it must be hard. There was some very graphic descriptions of children fainting in the streets and young and old, dying, and just not understanding what was going on, according to them. Okay, according to them. And so it starts off action packed from the very, very beginning. The visualization is very, very keen in the reading. It starts off with saying, "How deserted lies the city." That it just paints a picture right away of what's going on. Okay. And it must be hard for Jeremiah to, come up in a city that's bustling. Things are going on. He once saw it when it was grand and what was happening. And knowing that he all along was getting these prophecies, a lot of times they were being rejected, and as things progressed along, they were being rejected all the more. Initially, some things were being accepted, But when you see the trajectory of what is going to happen to your people, basically because of the disobedience, a lot of leaders, but however, the people were not living right either now. So let's not, miss on that. Okay. But it must have been so hard for Jeremiah to see this, and also knowing that, and I'm thinking about the time period that we're living in and how you could warn people about certain things that is to come, because it's speaking to me, and that you could see the destruction happening, but nobody wanted to listen. Mm. Y'all take that the way you want to take it, because it's happening now in our lifetime. But I'm pretty sure you have your stories too to tell of when you could see it vividly. The Lord gives it to you, and the message is rejected. Okay. So he goes on through the entire reading that we've had. This is what he is talking about. But boy, when we get into toward the end of the reading, when we talk about here, I guess it's chapter, let me make sure it's chapter 3. Yeah, it's chapter 3. Verses 22, maybe. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. Mm. For his compassion never fails. Wow, they are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. And you can go on and read more in that. But wow, what a powerful and profound statement, and what an act of faith. These stories that we read in the Bible are real people. It happened to real people. But the examples, the reason I feel that they're brought into the scriptures, because they give us so many examples of what could happen to you in your life. And if not you, someone close to you, et cetera, and how to handle it if it should come your way. And it is hard to see your people be destroyed because of disobedience. It's hard to see Christian people be destroyed because of disobedience. It's hard to see family members be destroyed because of disobedience, and to still have faith in the Lord. You know, sometimes when you have someone who makes themselves your enemy, because I don't really have enemies. If I have them, they made themselves an enemy. And those who pursue you strongly. And when the Lord begins to deal with them, you say, "Oh Lord, hold back your hand. That's a little rough right there. That's a little rough." But the Lord knows what's best, doesn't he? And unfortunately, some people have to learn the hard way. They have to get that tough love. And it's sad. It breaks our heart. But in the end, it works out for the good. Make sure you visit me on my website, which is www.ToniHenderson-Mayers.com, honey. I'm so glad, guys, you're with me on this journey. Make sure that you stick in there with us. Lamentations is not a long one at all, so we're most likely going to finish it on tomorrow, and then we'll be in another book again. All right. So just know that the word of God is a lamp unto our feet. It is a light unto our path. We will hide God's word in our hearts that we may not sin against God. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Bye. Hey there, thank you so much for checking out my video, and I want you to check out my website at ToniHenderson-Mayers.com. You can find out about me in film and stage. You can also find out about the wise courtship philosophy and everything that I do, speaking across the country, and the book that I've written. And of course, you can go on to my online store where you can learn a lot of information about business, get coaching sessions, online courses, and so much more. Not only that, I have an Etsy store which the website of all of these things are in my description. So make sure you go to my Etsy shop, which is called Faith, Hope, and Love Center. Make sure you go to that so you can get t-shirts, and I'm adding things every day, t-shirts, mugs, masks, all types of things, into the link that's going to take you to all of the books that we're using pretty much in our Read Through the Bible series. So here are the journals. This reflection journal is so that you can write and take notes. This one has a lot of study information and will help you keep organized as you're studying the Bible. This is the Bible that I read from, the NIV Study Bible. Of course, Wise Courtship is here, and some of the other books that I wrote. Yes, God is Real, and also I Rise, Stories of Triumph. It's just a great encouragement tool. So walk on over to the stores and give us some support. I think you're going to be blessed by the products. Take care.